Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Community Issues. As usual, we are back with your favorite fortnightly program. The topic for discussion this evening is universal credit. Now, some of you may know that the government introduced universal credit back in 2013, and it was introduced to simplify the benefit system, which would help people back into work. Well, the reality is it was designed to cut payment and further stigmatize and marginalize people on benefit. Since launching the universal credit, council tax benefit has been reduced and the government froze local housing allowance, cut benefit for disabled people and brought in bedroom tax, the benefit cap and increased sanction, all of which came into force since the universal credit came in. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have a number of guests in my studio who are going to talk about the universal credit. They are people that have worked with the local community and are dealing with the universal credit problem on a day-to-day basis. There are people that are working on a campaign against universal credit. There are people from the local community that have been working with the community that have been affected by the universal credit benefit system. Without further ado, please let me introduce my guest to you for tonight. Sitting on my right is Councillor Dora Dixon-File, who is a Labour councillor in London Borough of Southwark. Councillor Dixon-File, a very good evening and a welcome.
Thank you for having me again, Doris. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. Sitting next to Councillor Dixon-File is Sanu Mia, who is a community activist living in the East End of London, and someone who's been involved with the universal credit activity, a campaign.
Thank you
against the universal credit. Sanubhai, a very big welcome and thank you for coming along to the show.
Thank you very much to invite me.
Thank you. Sitting on my far left is Susie Stride, a local resident in Tower Hamlet, someone who's been involved with the community for a very long time. She's a community worker, a former parliamentary candidate, and someone who's been helping the local community that's been facing problem, in particular the people that are receiving universal credit benefit. Susie, a very good evening and thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure, thank you. And sitting next to Susie is Ripon Ray. He is a debt advisor. He used to present a Money Matter program on a well-known radio station. He's also involved with the national campaign against universal credit. Ripon Ray, a very good evening and thank you very much for coming along to the show.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Right. Okay. I hope that introduces our panel. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching the program tonight, if you have been affected by the universal credit, or if you know someone that's been affected, if you have a question or you want to know something about it, please feel free to phone into our studio and speak to our guest. You can ask them questions. They may be able to answer your question themselves, or they may know someone that they can put you in touch with. So please feel free to call into the studio. It's a free line number and it won't cost you anything. Okay? So my first question goes to Councillor Dora Dixon-File. What is universal credit and how did it come about? Could you please explain for the benefit of our viewers?
Course. Well, first of all, it's a horrible, horrible system and process. Let me just take you back to 2010, 2011. That's when Cameron and Clegg, people remember, when they came in, they had a coalition government.
Yeah.
And So the government decided to roll 6 different kinds of benefits into one. So you had employment support allowances, you had working tax credit, you had job seekers allowance. There were 6 of them which they rolled into one. You'd think it was to help people, but it wasn't. It was actually really a horrid way to treat people. First of all, let me set the scene. It came into actual effect 2012, the Welfare Reform Act, and then in 2013 began to be rolled out. And one of the first places that it was rolled out to was in my ward of Camberwell Green in Southwark. And so it was a new thing. People were very frightened. It's all been done online. Again, lots of people are fearful of doing things online. I know I helped some of my people, my residents, to actually go online and try and fill out an application.
So what would happen to those people that are not computer literate?
Absolutely, good question. Absolutely. I went online to help some of my residents, and as you're going online, you get timed out. Can you believe it? Timed out. It's absolutely ridiculous. So this is what they brought in. And in fact, Andrew Lansley, who was the health secretary at the time, he himself said this is the first major NHS shake-up for 63 years. Yeah. And as part of that Welfare Reform Act, the Secretary of State for Health disowned the responsibility of looking after the health of the people. That's never been done before since the NHS was started. So it's an absolutely dreadful system. 9 weeks before you could actually get any kind of help at all. The benefits are paid in arrears. It was absolutely dreadful for working class people. 9 weeks
before you get any help at all.
At least,
and
it's paid in arrears.
Those who are dependent on benefit, how are they going to survive?
Struggle. Food banks, asking friends. Absolutely a pecunious, horrid system, and this is under Tories, I'm afraid.
Okay, so now we know how it came about. What are the criteria for qualifying for universal credit?
As I said, the eligibility criteria varies because it was 6 different types of benefits
that came under one pot,
which was pushed all into one.
Right.
So it was a mismatch. And I used to work for DWP, and it was really hard for us as employees to get it into our heads how it was actually going to work. It was absolutely dreadful, and it's the worst thing this government could have introduced. And that was the time, if you remember, 2012, 2013, there was a riot the year before in London.
Yes.
You know, we had Olympics in the summer, but there was a riot in 2011. People were very desperate, and they're desperate today for help and assistance, and this is absolutely awful.
Thank you very much, Councillor. We will come back to you. Now let me go to Susie Stride. Susie, you are a community worker, someone who works with the community on a day-to-day basis, and especially people that have problems with their benefits of some sort or another.
Yeah.
What is the impact of universal credit on the local community, especially those that are just about managing to sort of stay above water and survive?
Yeah, I mean, what we know is that there is a direct correlation between the rollout of universal credit in this country and the increase in use of food banks. In fact, I think the statistic is that there's a 53% increase in the use of food banks in areas, 53% increase in mums and dads. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
What, since the universal credit came into?
In areas where universal credit has been rolled out, there is a 53% increase in the usage of food banks. In areas where it hasn't been rolled out, there is only a 13% increase. And so we're talking about mums and dads having to go down to a food bank to get food. People only do that when they're in a desperate situation. So firstly, we've already got people that are vulnerable being pushed into having to use food banks, but we're also seeing a direct correlation in mental health, because already we've got people that are maybe struggling to pay their bills, and as already has been said, universal credit has just made it more complicated for people. Many people that aren't computer literate, some people don't even own a computer or a smartphone. Absolutely. And basically they're being told, you have no way of asking a question or understanding this system except through using this portal. And I'm going to be honest, I mean, I am a little bit computer literate, and I would find that complicated and difficult, let alone if you're someone that doesn't know how to use a computer. What if English is your second language?
Absolutely.
And so for me, this is a typical policy dreamt up by people that have never faced poverty, and so they've dreamt up these policies. They haven't got a clue as to the issues that people face in their life. So the one thing is the food bank increase. Another thing is the increase in mental health. I mean, you hear stories of people...
I mean, last week, was the mental health week, wasn't it? It was the National Mental Health Week.
Yeah.
And the statistics is very alarming.
Yes.
1 in 4 people have a mental health issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly, when we have universal credit that makes life very hard for people, is going to even increase that more, isn't it?
Yeah, 100. And what happens is, so we know that under the old system, housing benefit was paid straight to landlords. Under this system, the money is paid to the actual claimant. And then what happens there is that, they're trying to manage their budget already in a high pressure situation, and maybe they don't fully calculate it and they don't have enough money to pay their rent. And then they're getting letters through their letterbox saying, people getting forced into eviction. I mean, imagine the stress of that. And these people that haven't done anything wrong, they just don't know fully necessarily how to access the portal. I mean, the stories, I would actually go as far to say, you use the word horrible, I would use the word criminal, actually, to push the most vulnerable people into... I heard a story of someone with disabilities who was incontinent, who was found on their sofa dripped in urine by a charity worker who said they didn't understand how to use the system, and they found in their cupboard a couple, a carton of orange juice, a couple of potatoes and a tin of meat.
That's
and
all they had.
These are the most vulnerable people, and this is the way we're treating them. And I would say, and I think everyone would agree with me, you measure a country by how it treats its most vulnerable. You measure a country by how it treats its most vulnerable. We're the 6th richest country in the world. How can we be treating people in this way?
And this is typically the Tories' policy, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a Conservative policy. This is why we need a Labour government, because we know the Labour government
as
would
Dora
completely
was saying,
reform.
this came about when David Cameron and Nick Clegg were in the office.
Yeah, well, no, 100%. And we know that Jeremy Corbyn, we know that a Labour government would scrap
Susie, can I
this.
just stop you?
Yes.
I think we've got a caller on the line. Let's just take the call. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
আমি একটা প্রশ্ন করতে আসলাম।
Sorry?
প্রশ্নটা করতে আসলাম।
জি খোকা।
আমি একদম ডিসেবিলিটি বেনিফিট আমার ইএসএ ফারাম তা আমাকে এফেক্ট হইব নি?
আপনি ডিসেবিলিটি বেনিফিট ফায়রা?
ইএসএ।
ওকে, এখন আপনি কিতা কইরা জানেন আপনার ডিসেবিলিটি বেনিফিট
এফেক্ট হইব নি?
এফেক্ট হইব নি?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know exactly what the circumstances are, but the lady is saying she's receiving disability benefit. Will she be affected?
The question is, what kind of disability benefit is she getting? Is she getting employment support allowance, or is she getting non-means tested benefit that is like PIP? Which one is she getting?
Right. Hello, caller. Are you still on the line? No. Okay. Okay, I think the caller's gone. So, caller, we need to know exactly what type of benefit you're getting, because there are different benefits. So please, if you are watching, call us again. If not, give us a call towards the end of the program, and we may be able to put you directly in touch with our advisors.
Absolutely.
Okay? Thank you. Susie, did you want to just sort of...
No, I think I've conveyed the passion, I would say, even of the room, that this is a Conservative policy.
Yeah.
Really, it's not just stigmatising. I mean, this has forced people into homelessness.
Yes, into poverty, yes.
We're in Tower Hamlets. This has we've got the highest rate of child poverty in the country, in this borough.
Absolutely.
The stories, some of the worst stories will never be documented because they'll be hidden, and that's the most heartbreaking thing. And for me, this just points towards why we need a Labour government, because we know a Labour government will completely reform the benefit system so that it works for the most vulnerable. So we want a benefit system that helps people get back into work, but those that are struggling, those that have disabilities, those that have health needs, particularly those that are in poverty-stricken situations, we need to be helping these people. We need to be supporting them. We don't need to be adding to the stress that they're already facing. And we know that a Labour government would do that because we're compassionate.
Thank you. I think you've made your point very eloquently, Susie, there. Obviously, we can't be too political, but certainly in terms of the benefit, I think we need to have a system that is fair and a system that does not discriminate the most vulnerable in our society. Let's go to Ripondre. What are the practical steps that people can take to minimize the impact of universal credit?
Very good question indeed. There is no one size fits all, I'm afraid. So that's the beginning anyway. So first question that we need to ask is what sort of benefit are you currently in? So the caller that called in, obviously the caller's question makes me think of further questions. So in her situation, let's say for example, if she is currently on employment support allowance, which is a non-means tested benefit, if she's on employment support allowance and she's disabled, she's getting that for her disability and also look after herself while she is affected by disability. Then if she's not facing a natural migration whereby her circumstance changes, and through her change of circumstance she has to apply for universal credit, that's one thing. There is a natural migration. Or if she's waiting for, let's say, managed migration.
So what are the changes in circumstances that would force her to apply for universal credit?
A number of things. Let's say it may not be her, it could be her household situation, for example.
Right.
Let's say, for example, she never had a kid, now she has a kid. Obviously, clearly there's a change of circumstance. Current system doesn't cater for those who are single, moving towards to become a family unit. So when there is a change of circumstance like that, she has to apply for universal credit because...
So by law, she has to inform them of changes in circumstances?
Yes, but not quite, because it all depends what kind of change of circumstance. So let's say, for example, I'll give you a couple of examples where you don't have to go on universal credit. It's probably easier. So let's say you're currently getting whatever benefit you're getting, and then you already have one child. Now you have another child. You don't have to go on universal credit. You just contact HMRC and let them know that you've got another child, and they will just increase your child tax credit. So no need to go on universal credit. Or let's say, for example, if you have children and in receipt of child tax credit and working tax credit, contact HMRC and say my circumstance has changed, therefore no need to go on universal credit. If, for example, your rent has changed because currently as it stands you're getting your rent from local authority, contact local authority about your change of circumstance. You don't have to go on universal credit. There are so many other exemptions. I don't want to list it right now.
Tell me something, Ripondre. There are a lot of people out there who perhaps are not well educated. Let's just take a call. We have a caller on the line.
Absolutely.
And then I'll put the question to you. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Hiya, good evening.
Hi.
I had a question in relation to the topic you are actually discussing. So I know a friend who's currently on income support. So ESA, they renamed it a couple of years ago. She gets that under some sort of due to her medical condition. Now she is an expectant mother. I mean, does she have to claim universal credit, or is it okay for her to fund herself with the money that she's already receiving? And also the other question was does the money decrease? Would she be suffering in any way? Because I know that a lot of people whoever have claimed these government benefits are actually saying universal credit is in fact very bad. They're suffering on it. There are a lot of people who have been actually suicidal because they haven't been able to maintain their family. Can you give me a bit of rough information on that if you know?
Sorry, Cole, it's quite difficult for me to hear. Could you repeat the circumstance of the person?
So she's an expectant mother.
Yep. So is the first child?
ESA.
So waiting for a child?
Yes.
And ESA, yep.
So basically she had a child recently. She lost her child, but she didn't claim all the benefits. Before she could claim it, the child had died. She's an expectant mother for the second time now again.
Yeah.
So hopefully this time around everything is going perfectly fine for her. but what she wanted to know was, does she have to notify and apply for universal credit? And if she does it affect the amount she receives? Because she has been under a lot of impression that the money decreases and a lot of people end up suffering, or can she just maintain her one child with the money that she's receiving?
Okay, thank you, caller. I think we've got the gist of it. She had a child, the child died, she's expecting again. I think she's receiving ESA, Employment Support Allowance. Yeah. Would she be expected to claim universal credit when this child is born? I think that's what the question is.
The answer to that is quite simple. It's yes. Because if she is only in receipt of employment support allowance currently and nothing else, maybe also housing benefit, then change of circumstance would involve her claiming universal credit, because you can't claim child tax credit on its own currently. Okay.
Now, thank you, caller. I hope that answers your question. But if you need further advice, I suggest that you go to your local law centres
or Citizen Advice Bureau.
Or Citizen Advice Bureau, and hopefully they should be able to advise you. As I was saying, a lot of people in our community are perhaps not literate to understand what changes they should notify. But we'll talk about this after the break. We need to go on a break.
Sure.
So, dear viewers, please don't go anywhere. We need to go on a short break. We'll be back very soon. Thank you.